What's up? It's WWE superstar Braun Strowman, and you're listening to Nerd Radio.
I love the stank he puts on it. Nerd Radio.
Sounds like Cannibal Corpse in the background, too.
It does kind of sound like that, doesn't it? I think that was his entrance theme.
Yeah, that was his entrance music. They probably ripped off.
Well, I mean, Killswitch Engage used to do the theme music for CM Punk.
Yep.
Okay.
So, I mean, sometimes you get a big name that does stuff.
I just recall D-Generation X sounding so much like Rage Against the Machine.
Like, so much so that if you tried to download it off of LimeWire, it was listed as Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I thought it was.
Yeah.
Really?
So did Amy.
You think
she heard it, she was like,
"Come on, you guys should know better. Zack De La Rocha is not going to sell out like that."
Where did this Rage Against the Machine D-Generation X sound? It sounds amazing. Welcome back to Nerd Radio. I'm your host, Chuck Bean, joined by James and Al Beck, talking about all things nerd. Of course, you can join us on social media.
Yeah, your wrestling entrance music breakdown right here on Nerd Radio.
And Braun Strowman, when he's like, "I'm not finished." Could you imagine somebody saying that to you? Be like,
that used to be his thing.
What's going to happen?
No, that used to be because when
What's next?
He would beat up somebody and then he'd start to leave the ring and go, "I'm not finished with you," and start beating him up again.
My God.
And it was me. And then I actually got that off of the internet because somebody put it in his entrance theme, and I was like, that should be his entrance theme.
I thought that had something to do with like an old version of it.
That's a great catchphrase, damn it, especially for a big guy that just beats everybody up so badly.
I say the same thing to my toilet every time I have Thai food.
I'm not finished with you. Yeah, I've been there. I ate a whole pizza one night, and I should have maybe stopped a little bit before the whole pizza was gone. Royal Rumble evening.
Eat a whole pizza every day. You toughen up.
It's like Snoop Dogg. Eat pizza every day.
Yeah, eat pizza every day.
You can join us, of course, on social media at Nerd Radio 101, and you can find us Wednesday afternoons on Checkpoint XP's Twitch stream, doing the do live.
Doing it live.
Doing it live.
I thought he said doing the do live. Did we get sponsored by Mountain Dew? We got Major Melon money?
All right.
It would be pretty awesome for Chuck to spring it on us during a broadcast.
Guess what? Surprise!
I was like, what? If you would have told me, I would have brought a can in of that sweet Major Melon and cracked it on steam.
Mountain Dew money. All right, so I've got a couple of stories here that Al had sent
I wouldn't have brought this moon mist in, goddammit.
Well, there goes the Mountain Dew money. Nice job.
Son of a bitch.
That was the shortest
Damn you, Mellow Yellow.
Oh, Mellow Yellow is pretty great. It's got a cool song from the 70s and everything.
Oh, what did I send you?
You sent me some stories that I wanted to talk about and get you guys' opinion on. So, talking about Black Panther, the Black Panther sequel, Michael B. Jordan, who played Killmonger in the first one, says that he would be more than pleased to come back, which
I bet he would.
I really think is the way to go.
So,
honestly.
is he coming back as the villain again?
I don't think he'd be the villain again.
Okay.
If I was writing Black Panther 2, I would bring Killmonger. I would have Killmonger appear, even though he got murdered in the first one by T'Challa. I would have him appear and T'Challa have disappeared and have it be something mystical with the Black Panther powers that brought him back, and now he needs to he needs to actually pay penance and be a good dude.
Oh, okay.
Because T'Challa is no longer around. They're also talking about doing a World of Wakanda show for the Disney Plus streaming service, which will be interesting. All of this stuff will be very interesting to see how they dance around not having Chadwick Boseman anymore.
Well, I mean, I think we've talked about it before, but in other issues of Black Panther, does his sister not take over the role of
his sister
Black
does?
Panther?
Yeah, for a while, his sister does take on the role of the Black Panther.
And I mean, she's got a pretty cool role already in those, like in the End Game and those other movies where she's helping make that stuff, that technological stuff, those advances there. I think she'd be a kick-ass Black Panther. I think it'd be cool if she took over that role, and maybe you have the Killmonger guy, like as a Force Ghost type thing. Like,
maybe. That would be kind of
guide
fun.
her,
yeah,
to the right path. I don't know. I don't write comics. I don't write movies. Just
No,
here to look good and make fart jokes.
You know what, though? I mean, I also feel like if they got to a point where they decide to recast the role, it needs to be okay. You know what I mean?
I agree.
No one wants it to.
How many James Bonds are there?
How many James Bonds are there? And this isn't even the first. I mean, it's very tragic that Chadwick Boseman passed away.
Oh, yeah.
No one's disagreeing with that. And I don't feel like it's disrespectful to recast it.
Right.
And Retro Redux in the Twitch chat brings up a good point. Maybe the multiverse could fix it. So even though Killmonger might have died,
right?
The multiverse, maybe in another universe, Killmonger is Black Panther.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we still have yet to see how the WandaVision show shakes out.
Yeah.
We're only halfway through it.
Oh,
but
we're only halfway through?
Yeah. The last episode finally, started to give you some answers.
Oh, does it? Because I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, you start
I'm too bored.
You start to see from the outside what everyone is seeing.
Okay.
And
that's interesting.
It's funny because I got caught up on WandaVision over the weekend.
Hell's ahead of me. Can't believe that.
You know you're messing up now.
I know.
Well, I was like, it's Sunday morning. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go edit a video of me opening up toys instead of watching the WandaVision. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you start to get. It's so funny because you had said that it's supposed to start getting really weird.
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, it's more. It explains a little bit more.
For sure.
Yeah. So,
now, like I said, now you're seeing from the outside what everyone else is seeing going on where in that town that is just going through these cycles of sitcoms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying it. I like that it's only a half hour though.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I like it because it just makes it more digestible,
absolutely
bite size.
Yeah. If it was hour-long episodes and they were sticking to this,
right,
I would have cashed out.
I'll tell you what, I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, I paid for the Hulu subscription so I could cut the ads out.
Yeah.
And that was all I needed to start watching Seinfeld again.
Really?
I don't have to sit through any commercials. I'll watch a couple episodes of Seinfeld. I don't care. And I'm into like season 5, so maybe this is when it starts to actually click and get better, and that's part of it.
Well, it's crazy to see how short some of those sitcoms actually are.
Yeah,
22 minutes.
Well, I forgot what we were watching, and whatever we were watching, the episodes were only like 19, 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, we just went through 3 episodes in an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Right, for sure.
I do actually, I know I've said it on here before, but I find that I will sometimes spend more time watching TV when I think I don't have time to watch TV if I watch a shorter episode.
Oh, sure.
Because I'll be like, I don't have time to watch an entire hour-long whatever.
Yep.
I'll watch this short thing instead, and I end up watching like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Ends up being more time I would have spent on one episode of the other thing.
Spending in like an hour and 15 or an hour and 20 minutes instead of the 45, 55 minutes you would have spent just watching the one thing.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you're getting more.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
Speaking of streaming services, too, story that Alan sent me said that Wonder Woman 84 helped HBO Max double their subscriber activation.
Well, that was before anyone watched it.
That's very true.
They had to sign up before they could watch it.
They lost a quarter of those numbers after they watched it.
Yeah, no, I figured that was going to be the response of the room, but I definitely wanted to bring it up. Also, the Snyder Cut, which we know is coming, what is it, in March, I think? Or
they announced the date, yeah.
Has announced that you can get a Justice League-themed meal kit to watch the Snyder Cut with.
Oh, okay.
It comes with it comes in one of those big mother boxes from the movie.
Oh, really?
It comes in a box that's called that. Let me see.
This might be a cool thing to unbox.
Described as a first of its kind immersive at-home dining experience. They're teaming up with Wonderland restaurants. You're supposed to be able to get these mail order, which is pretty cool. Designed to resemble the film's MacGuffin mother boxes. Inside will be a variety of Justice League adjacent food. The Ocean Trench appetizer for Aquaman, consisting of Icelandic cod and chips with trench dressing. That doesn't sound good at all.
Gonna have to cook this, right? It's not ready to eat.
I would imagine, yeah.
It's not like an MRE where you gotta put water in a pouch.
No.
just add water to this cod.
Yeah. I don't know if that's gonna be very good.
They've got the Big Belly Burger for the Flash, which is something from the comics. That's the fast food restaurant in his city. Other menu items have yet to be revealed include the Superman and cornfield-inspired Resurrection, the Wonder Woman-themed Ancient Themysciran Fire, and the more mundane snack and extras, which include Cold Brow beers and Jitters Cold Brew.
Well, I'll be honest, the foods that are in it don't sound that interesting, but I like the idea of getting a fancy box and opening it up and showing people on the internet what's actually inside of it.
Right. Well, it's gonna run you about $130.
Oof. How many meals are in it?
Look, it sounds like about 2 or 3 of them.
Okay.
Like it's constructed to, because it's going to be a 4-hour or couple episode long version, the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
So it's constructed to be eaten while you're watching the new.
Okay. So they got a meal for each time you sit down to watch, maybe.
Right. Exactly.
Man, I need to monetize my YouTube channel. $130, you said, for
$130.
The Snyder Cut dinner.
Yep. Thor 4 has started filming.
Has it?
Over in Australia. There's a bunch of behind-the-scenes footage. People have seen Chris Hemsworth and.
Do we know what Matt Damon's role is yet?
Not yet, but we've seen Chris Hemsworth over there. We've seen Natalie Portman over there, not in costume yet, and Nebula.
Nebula's
Karen
there.
Gillan from.
So I guess that she's probably going to be. It's
the
got to be
Guardians.
picking up after the last Marvel movie, then, right?
Yep.
If he's part of he was with the Guardians of the Galaxy crew.
Yep. And according to the news story I've got here, we can look forward to seeing Jamie Alexandra returning as Lady Sif, Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, Dave Bautista as Drax, and Christian Bale will be in it as Gore the God Butcher. So he'll probably be the villain.
Oh, so
he's
they've officially announced Christian Bale is that character.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I bet
it'd be cool to see Christian Bale as a comic book villain.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Dark Knight.
I was just talking to my buddy John at the comic book store about this. How crazy is it that we live in a time where very established actors have not only been in a comic book movie, but have been in at least two, playing two different characters from the competing
universes.
comic book universes.
Yeah.
Like Christian Bale will be a villain in a Thor movie and has been Batman.
Yeah. Well, same story for Michael Keaton. Thank you, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, is Batman.
Right.
But he was also Vulture.
Yep. Like, how insane. I always think to myself, I remember when Wizard Magazine was coming out in the 90s, and they would fantasy cast, who would we put in an X-Men movie? Who would we put in a Batman movie kind of thing? And at the time, we had like the 89 Batman movie and a couple sequels and the Superman movies, but that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think to myself that like they were hyping up that they were going to make an X-Men movie since like the Dark Phoenix saga happened in the 70s. They were like, that was so good. Hollywood's interested. We're going to make a movie. There are people who died excited about an X-Men movie that never got to see one.
That's very sad, yes.
So
you've even told me that there were some complaints among your X-Men crew about the movie when it came out, and you were like, guys, we got to see an X-Men movie. And now we've got so many superhero movies.
Yeah, now that I've gotten like 9 X-Men movies, now I'm like, man, the Dark Phoenix movie went great. But you know, it's amazing the times that we live in. Hey, speaking of the Marvel Cinematic Universe 2, this is something that came out about a month ago. Deadpool 3 is on the way, and it will officially be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What do you guys think about this?
Well, they're keeping it rated R, that kind of feel still, so whatever. Disney's smart. Like, they know how to make money.
Right.
You know, so they don't really mess with stuff too much. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to make money on it. You're not going to see the Disney castle at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be bloody and have all sorts of naughty words.
I beg to differ. I feel like Deadpool is going to graffiti the Disney castle.
You think so?
I mean, I feel like that's in his character to do.
Yeah.
It's in his character, but I don't know if Disney would put that in there.
They probably wouldn't, but I would argue with whoever's behind it. Like, you better put that scene in.
I would hope that much like Deadpool 2 happening in the X-Men 20th Century Fox universe, that it's the same thing. Like, there'll be a scene with the Avengers in the background, and they'll be like, "Oh no, it's Deadpool." Trying to close the door. Like, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. Like I said, Disney, they know what they're doing. For the longest time, a lot of people didn't even know how many of the things that they owned.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of people didn't necessarily realize that they owned Marvel for a long time. But then it was like it got to the point where they, you know, owned everything, and they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're Disney, and we own you."
Well, who owns me?
When you paid that subscription fee for the Disney Plus network, part of the terms and licenses is that we now own you. Let's move to Netflix, though. Tomb Raider sequel TV show to the video game set at Netflix, according to the headline I just read to you.
Live action, animated, or what?
It looks like it's going to be an animated Tomb Raider show.
Oh.
But it's supposed to basically continue off of the most recent Tomb Raider games.
Well, hopefully they have some of those animators that can do that real sexy anime, you know?
I would imagine.
Do Laura Croft some justice.
No,
you look good when she's raiding all those tombs.
You don't want the square boobs, Laura Croft?
I don't want the Nintendo 64 boobs. I want the PS5 boobs. In fact, I want the PS7 boobs. They haven't even been seen yet.
James wants PS5 boobs.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Give me those PS5 boobs.
What are you guys' opinion on the Tomb Raider games?
I never really got into them too much because they were too much like maybe puzzle solving. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan.
I haven't played one since the very, very first one on PlayStation.
Yeah, I remember playing the first two, maybe the third one. I think by the second one I was out because I remember it was one of those games much like Mario 64 where it was third person, so you could move the camera around. But I was so used to side-scrolling when it came to jumping stuff, like trying to judge when I'm supposed to hit the jump button when the camera's behind me in a 3D world.
Issues, yeah.
I would move the camera to the side so I'd see, okay, I've got that much room, and then as soon as she'd move, the camera would swing back around behind me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
This is awful.
I remember having a good time with it, but I do get frustrated with games sometimes when I get to that, what am I supposed to do next phase?
Sure.
And I can't figure it out, then it just ruins it.
Well, sometimes what you're supposed to do next is he'll build a highway. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think you gave yourself that task.
I did.
Somebody did think that you died on our Twitter.
What? No.
Yeah, like, because the title of last week's episode was
Right.
the Chuck Bean Memorial
Highway.
Highway. And someone responded to that with like, oh my God, Chuck died? My thoughts with his family.
Oh, no.
Come on. I hope they were just trolling.
I hope
Maybe,
so.
I don't know. But I remember seeing that. And I was like, I don't know what to say to that. I probably should have been like, Chuck's still alive, but I'm like, I'm going to let you think he's dead.
I'm still good. I'm
You should
still
have
here.
responded with, we'll update you with funeral arrangements.
But like when I saw that though, I did kind of like, I was like, I guess that would be kind of an artsy way to like, if you had died and we did like a tribute show to you,
It's in my
it would be
will.
the Chuck Bean Memorial Highway. It would be like a real, you know, kind of artistic, nice way to call the final episode of Nerd Radio. Yeah.
Dear James and Al.
Yeah. So let's call this episode These Two Idiots, then they can do it alone.
It'd be probably a really short podcast.
Yeah,
Okay,
as
so
we
Al, what do
learned.
you think about the Royal Rumble? He's like, didn't see it. I'm like, yeah, it was just okay. What do you think about Netflix?
Yeah, yeah. Followed by episode 3 of us alone.
Yeah.
Change it to the cast.
Oh.
The perv and the curmudgeon.
The curve.
The curve, right? All right, so another story about Netflix that I found pretty fascinating is that in 2015, the Wall Street Journal reported that Nintendo and Netflix were going to do a live-action Legend of Zelda TV series. I remember this. This
Okay,
only a
yeah, that
couple of
sounds
years
familiar.
ago. Yeah, exactly. Well, according to Adam Conover, who from Adam Ruins Everything.
Oh,
Oh, the guy from that show that tells
Yes.
you like salmon's not really salmon, it's buttfish, but they call it salmon and they dye it pink.
Right. That's a really specific one to remember.
Well, I just remember that might have been the only one I watched.
Okay.
But I do remember like, oh, I'm not really eating salmon, huh? That's
Are you upset about the
That's a
Subway?
bummer.
Are you upset about the Subway tuna as well?
no, I never ate that.
Okay.
I really hope buttfish isn't in the Zack Snyder meal kit.
Buttfish.
That's Aquaman's favorite
That's-
dish,
that's
believe it or
butt-
not.
the buttfish.
Yeah, the buttfish.
Yeah.
So, according to him in a recent podcast appearance, Nintendo canceled not only that live-action Zelda thing, but a claymation Star Fox show that he was working on for another company
What?
because Netflix let that out, that rumor out.
Oh, so Netflix like revealed like did
Netflix
they
was like-
violate like a confidentiality agreement?
Yeah, they were like,
oh,
"Hey, Wall Street Journal, hey, we're working on a live-action Legend of Zelda. Don't tell anybody." Knowing
Oh
that
my
Wall Street
gosh.
Journal would put something out there,
yeah.
and then Nintendo got wind of it and just canned everything.
Dude, well, that's probably goes against everything that would probably offend like a Japanese businessman.
Sure.
Like the way they are so strict on like tradition and respect and stuff.
yeah,
I can see why they would do that.
yeah, but also
That's a bummer, man.
fascinating that fascinating that doesn't happen more often.
Yeah.
That you didn't find out, hey, there's a baby Yoda in there, and then we just never get to see it
Yeah.
ever.
Like, oh, you want to spill the beans about Baby Yoda? Guess what? I'm taking him away.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
a kid taking his ball to go home.
exactly.
Yeah, well, a few years ago, this probably wouldn't have happened, but now, Nintendo Switches are outselling all the other consoles and stuff like that, so they
Right.
actually have a leg to stand on now.
Yeah, it's not the Wii U generation.
Yeah. During the Wii U, they're like, screw you. We're taking a ball and going home. And everyone's like, I got a PS3 and an Xbox 360. It's got plenty of games on it. I'm not worried.
And this is how I know my time with Checkpoint XP has paid off, because I just made a joke about the Wii U.
About the Wii
and
U.
it hit! And it hit on Nerd Radio, baby!
There you go.
I don't know a damn thing about the Wii U other than it sucked. Thanks, Weirbeard.
It was like the Switch before the Switch, and now the Switch is way cooler. All right, well, speaking of video games, I got some video game news for you, and when we come back here, Magic the Gathering, now on your phone.
Ooh, now I might start playing.
Also, there's an alternative to Magic the Gathering, and EA Sports getting back in the college football game. I don't know nothing about football, so I'm looking to you about this story, Al.
I'm looking in your direction as well.
Yeah.
Well,
You're going to be the authority, the football authority.
that topic's going to last for about 2 seconds.
Okay. Nerd Radio's coming back.